Yeah, we continue reading then from Science International 2735. But indeed, I will send to them a gift, and see with what reply the messengers will return. So they came to Solomon. He said, "Do you provide me with wealth? But what Allah has given me is better than what He has given you. Rather, it is you who rejoice in your gift."
Okay, so now we're having to have a bit of a shift of narratives. We have the same frame of story. She summoned, it's a very beautiful description. She summoned all of her sea captains and had them load their vessel with cypress wood, pearls, and precious stones. She also sent to Solomon 6,000 youth and maidens, all born in the same year, in the same month, in the same day, in the same hour, all of equal stature and size, all clothed in purple garments. Of course, purple in the ancient world is amazing. It's very expensive. And she wrote the following letter to King Solomon: from the city of Kitor to the land of Israel, normally a journey. Is normally a journey of 7 years. Nevertheless, I plead and patience. Let me come to you at the end of 3 years. So we see the same story where she decided to send him gifts, while in the Jewish tradition there is no mention of Solomon being mad of getting gifts from her, like in the Quran. Like in the Quran, he's really because she cannot measure the gifts that Allah that gave him. So he feels very angry at the gifts she gives him. While in the Haggadah, it just gives a beautiful, elaborate description of all kinds of magical gifts. And she just simply say, "I'll be there, see you in 3 years." That's it.
It's interesting. The Quran can't stop itself from criticizing Sheba at every opportunity, right? Like the story, it presents like implicitly the idea, would be that the wealth that she can give to Solomon, God gives better, right? Like that's implicit.
Because in this part of the story, she's still a kafir. She's not a Muslim yet.
Right, so she can't give anything good. Yes, she must be. It all is all terrible, and Sheba's the worst. Yeah.
A kafir cannot give. It can only be taken from him, from the kafir. Not to be given as. Okay, so for me it's.
Okay, JC, next slide.
So then this one, we said we were actually not going to read all of this because this is one part of the story that appears in the Quran, but it's actually not in the Jewish legend, or at least not that Shai has found. Maybe there is the story somewhere, but there's the whole story about Solomon asking one of the demons to one of the jinns to actually go and steal the throne. So all of those things are not in the original story, unless they're in another place, or that part of the story has actually been lost through time and maybe only recorded in the Quran. But we thought we wouldn't actually just read the whole thing because that story, we don't have something to compare it against.
We'll just go through the important thing to understand from this part. It's also, again, a shift in the narrative where the Quran source divorces from the Jewish tradition and puts its own narrative, what's important to Islam. So in all those verses that are not in the Targum Sheni, we'll see that we see that Solomon returns the gifts to Sheba. He doesn't want those gifts, and I just want to read the important stuff. We will definitely come up against them with hosts they cannot withstand, literally of no withstanding. Indeed, we will definitely drive them out from the out there from humiliated, and they will be utterly belittled. So this is a very Islamic expression towards the Kafirs, the non-Muslims. So do you know the word belittled? Where you're familiar with this word belittled?
Not in the Quranic Arabic here. Could you tell us something about it?
Murad translations to 929, the Saint Murad translation, 929, the verse of the Jizya, it ends with, and feel yourself belittled.
Yes. Subdued, abased, yes. Okay.
Subdued, belittled, belittled is, it's much more harsh. It's like you feel like you don't, like nothingness.
Yes.
Like you're zero. This is the meaning of belittle. So here the Quran, which this part we don't have in the Jewish legends, but the Quran put emphasis to this part. And then again, in the next verse, he wants to test her with his throne test, and he tells his chiefs that he wants to test her final test to see if she becomes, again, we see the word in verse 38, they come to me as Muslims, and in brackets, in surrender. So again, the Islamic narrative, the sin, it appears here again. Muslim can be surrender, but it can also be a person who believes in Islam. And then he goes through this test. He gives her back the gifts. He doesn't want them. He's very mad at her. And at the end, and at the end of the story, she comes after she visits him. He shows her the throne. This throne actually belongs to her. And he asks her, "Is your this is in verse 42? Yes, I'm in the end. Is your throne like this?" And she said, "It is. It looks very much like mine, basically." And then he said to her, "And we were given knowledge before her, and we have been again Muslims," and in brackets, in submission to Allah. So all this part that it doesn't exist in the Talmudic source, all this is packed with sin, with Islamic narrative, with becoming a Muslim, or be destroyed, or be belittled, or be conquered. It's very emphasized in all this section. That's what I wanted to say. If you understand, or you have anything to say.
I have a question, Shay, in regards to...
Shy.
Oh, Shy, sorry.
Shy like Shy.
Shy, okay. So Shy, in the story of Solomon and Sheba from Agada, is there anything about, say, Michael or Gabriel, or one of these archangels, as referred to in the English tradition? Do any of one of these angels speak to Solomon?
Not in this story. I don't know. It's a huge library, so in this specific story, nothing.
I see. Because I have a theory about Jinn coming from Heth Nun Nun root, Hanan, meaning to be favored. So I have a suspicion about that, so I wanted to test that, but I'll have a look through it myself later.
No angel in this story.
Okay.
So far then we see this pattern that the Quran generally either A has a much more abbreviated part of the story where they remove most of the details, and when it is expanded, it actually has all about Islam, about submission and so on.
Submission, Islam, come to me as Muslim, convert or die, or belittled, or be humiliated. It's all the same rhetoric. It's foreign from the Jewish Agada.
And I just checked, because I may as well, right? On the word meaning to be small, to be belittled, to be abased, right? This word in question that you were highlighting, this word is very funny because I just ran a root search. Sadeh Gain Ra is apparently the root. But Sadeh Ain Ra, in Hebrew, Syriac, and Gez, means to become small, thin, humble. So the meaning comes from the Sadeh Ain Ra root, but they put a dot, and now the root is now Sadeh Gain Ra, which means to be little. So it's so obvious every time I see this. It's like, okay, so obviously the meaning derives from Sadeh Ain Ra. They put a dot there anyway, and the meaning, pulls into the Gain apparently. It's so fake.
What's the Hebrew? Sadeh Ain?
Sadeh Ain Ra. Let me see if I can find it. I have a Bible reference also for it. Tsar.
It means it's mean sorrow or misery.
Enemies, adversary, blah blah blah, distress, straight, adversary. Okay, interesting. So the Syriac seems to be stronger, but yeah, it's worth another more more investigation in time. But that's so cool, right? That the root it derives from Sada Ain Ra. They put a dot there, pretend like it's a new character called Gain, even though they already have a Gimel character effectively in the J. So it's redundant, but it's there, and the root retains the meaning from Sada Ain Ra. It's very strange, huh?
I have not my field. So
we need to actually look at those roots.
Yes. Yeah, but what's important to see is how different narratives, different cultures, emphasis different narratives, incorporate different narratives into one mutual story that many cultures shared. That's what we see is very clear here.